How are you getting on, folks? Look at today was just one of those days where everything seemed to fall into play. I think we all had aces in our hands when we were going into today there as well. The fact, look, we had two non-runners as well was just a little bit of a hindrance, but we still managed to get 4 winners from 6 runners, so that's 66% strike rate at the end of the day. That's as good as any day you'll ever have in terms of picking winners. Just to go through them there, Colreevy, very, very impressive. Allaho, impressive, but probably not as impressive as Colreevy. Cuspa Caribelli was obviously a non-runner. Heather Rocco was disappointing enough. Blanking on the ground, winner at 11-2. Just look at it, blew every horse out of the water. 340 then, more than a memory, was a non-runner, and Churchtown Warrior then at 6-4 was just, it was unbelievable. Like the gamble was there, the gamble landed, and yeah, we all came away with some very, very tasty profit altogether. Moving on to tomorrow then, there is some very, very nice priced horses in here. I'm just going to fly through them here because my battery is nearly low. 115 is going to be my patron pick of the day, so I won't be covering it. 145, we're going to start off the free tips with the nap of the day. Fangio Devassi for Henry de Bromhead, and Maxine O'Sullivan, I think, is riding for him now tomorrow. Currently priced around 11-8. It's a little bit short, but realistically, when you look at the overall form and the overall potential about this horse, the form in the book stands out a country mile. You just look at the bumper that had it where it finished 5th to. Most of them have gone on to run, if not win the race, to run very credibly. Obviously this sort of improvement is going to come on. A winner in Drumahan, Point to Point. Before that, look at, I didn't look too much into the form in the Point to Point. I don't really know what the horses have come out for, but I can understand why the price is 11-8. It's certainly the most likelier winner. I know I said there, Gowran Park, it is Willie Mullins' playground, but I'm just going to side with Henry de Bromhead here with this one. I just think the fact that, look at, he is one of the better trainers, and he is one of the better trainers to bring point-to-pointers on into hurdle or chase company. It is justified. 11-8 is definitely a right price to be about. I think it's going to get shorter. Probably will go off odds on at the starting price. So if you are going to be backing it, I would be suggesting to back the night before, like what we're doing now. 220 then, that's going to be Ryan's patron pick of the day, and I do fancy it myself, but I'm not going to cover it for obvious reasons. 250 then, Princess Vega, coming in here at 5-2, the daughter of the mighty Quivega. I'm going to take a bit of a chance here now with this one. Conor McNamara obviously rides for Willie Mullins here. I know the run last time out in Bumper Company in heavy ground didn't really suit her. She is, I suppose, much better on good ground, and she is much better when there's a jump in front of her. But if the mother has passed on any sort of gene to this Princess Vega, I certainly think that she will be way too good enough for this field. I look at, it's hard to know what way this horse is going to be like tomorrow, but I just can't get away from the bloodline. The bloodline is as solid as a rock. It's produced many a winner between good ground to soft ground to heavy ground. Plenty of AQPS horses over in France. Different things along the way. But I just think that this Princess Vega here at 5-2, it is a bit of a steal. When you look at the mother and what she's done, like, realistically, and coming from a Beat Hollow then as well. Beat Hollows, they generally do better in good ground, but there has been winners from Beat Hollow that have gone on to win in soft to heavy ground as well. So that is playing to our cards as well. The fact that she's only up the road and Willie Mullins is as well is another thing. Willie will have her right, and Willie will have her ready to strike. And I think 5-2 is a great price for a betting perspective. Moving on then to the 325, the big race of the day. It's a tough one to call. Acapella Bourgeois, obviously second to Album Photo last time out. Yeah, it's obviously justified favouritism, but it's 7-1. I think it's a little bit exposed in my personal opinion. I just think that the form that it holds with Album Photo, it isn't really justified. Like, this is a trappy enough affair, and it is, I suppose, one of the ones that you're nearly better off backing at an each way perspective from an outsider's point of view than going for the 7-1 favourite or going for the 8-1 second favourite. I'm actually going to be going with a horse that I picked out earlier on there today at 14-1, but it is backed into 10-1 now. A horse called 10-10 is well suited as well, 10-1. But when you look back at this horse's overall form, it was, I think, 13th in the Paddy Power there at Christmas. That was disappointing, but I think it was coming from the back of a layoff as well. Generally, it does better from a run, or it does better from, I suppose, just a run to freshen him up. Now, when you go back, I was really following this horse from day one. I seen it coming third. I think it was in Limerick, if I'm not mistaken. It was in soft ground. I think that was 2-3 years ago, maybe now at this stage. I think it's 3 years ago. 2017, 2018 period, anyway, whatever it was. I just personally think that this horse has got great capabilities in soft to heavy ground. I'm probably sure you can hear the rain pitter-pattering on the window. It is going to be heavy ground tomorrow, there's no doubt about it. Like I said already, the third it came, I think it was in Limerick, back in 2017, was on soft ground. It then went on to Downpatrick, one of the two up there the north, and it went to be a very, very well gambled. I was on a 25-1 the night before, got backed into something like 3-1 or 9-4 favourite. But I just think that this horse has got serious potential in him, and I think 10-1 is a little bit of an overpriced in my personal opinion, and I think he's going to run a very, very big race tomorrow. And for me, if I was going to be going for a next best each way, this one would certainly take the biscuit. I think 10-1 is a great price. Moving on then to the 4 o'clock. It's actually I just said the next best. This one here is actually going to be my next best. Ante at 11-4. It's a hard one to call. Look at the Rebel Gold. I would be backing him if it was in good ground, and there's no doubt about it. I would certainly consider him to be thereabouts in the finish, but that ground is just going to go way against him now tomorrow. He's much better on soft ground, or he's much better on good ground, and it's definitely going to be heavy tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. He's going to find one or two too good in this ground anyway. You look at Ante's form. What was it? He had a win in Punchestown, and he had a win in Cork. I think that was last year or the year before, whatever it was. He's rated 134 over hurdles. Now, since moving to the chasing ranks, he has gone downhill a little bit. The jumping department has let him down. But the fact that it's Willie Mullins' playground, I just think that you'd be avoiding a match of peril tomorrow if you are going to be going against him. Look, I think 11-4 is a great price. The fact that Paul Townend's on board, he's one of the more solid jockeys in Ireland to be, I suppose, going over a chasing fence. And I certainly think that if Ante can go back to what he was in the hurdling days, he's definitely thereabouts. See, there's no doubt about it. Like, if his jumping can hold up tomorrow, I certainly think that he's going to be bang there in the finish. There's no doubt about it. And in my personal opinion, 11-4 is very much overpriced now tomorrow. Now, finally then, the 4:30. This one is going to be my only odds-on horse of the day. Again, for Willie Mullins. What is it? Harrick Kerry at 8-11. Sorry. This one here, look at it's hard to know. It really, when you're going for bumpers and newcomers, you generally like to go for a yard that can get them on the first time and does have a good record in these particular meetings. The fact that Willie Mullins is known to be a very good bumper trainer, can get them ready first time out. He's only up the road from Gowran Park, so he will want to get plenty of winners in his home turf. And the fact that Patrick Mullins is one of the best jockeys in Ireland in terms of an amateur perspective. Look at it, it's certainly ticking all the right boxes, and it's certainly there to be siding with. I don't really know whether you'd be backing him singly or not. I'd personally be thinking maybe to double him up with maybe Fangio Devassi, or I don't know. Look at when you think about maybe even the Quavega filly. It could be a nice little double there with 5-2 and 8-11. I don't really know, but I just think that going against Willie Mullins in Gowran Park is a dangerous game to be all things considered. I just think that when you're putting it all into perspective, that Willie Mullins is going to have this horse right. There's no doubt about it. Look, I'm going to leave it there. That's all I have time for, really. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. If I made you, put it this way, if I made you a winner there today, hit that subscribe button, please. It really does help me out, and I want to try and get to the 1,000 mark as soon as I can, to try and, I suppose, instead of doing this out in my car and doing it on my phone, to be looking to maybe build a bit of a, not an office, but a bit of a corner. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, but build up a bit of a studio is what I'm trying to say. For doing these videos and for doing these podcasts that I do with the two lads in Racing Records for the Irish Racing Hour. It just helps me out a lot. The more I see people subscribing, the more I'm encouraged to basically go on to do bigger and better things with my YouTube channel. But look, best of luck tomorrow. If you're going to be having a bet, the very best of luck. If you want to sign up to Patreon, now I know it's getting late in the month, I'll leave a link in the description below. Like, it's a tenner a month, and it's an automatic charge that comes out the first day of every month. If you want to wait till February to do so, like, I have no problem in that either. But yeah, look, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you want to sign up, you can. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to sign up or not. I'm just leaving it there as an option. But if you're going to be having a bet tomorrow, the very, very best of luck. Hopefully we'll be able to continue this good run of form on to tomorrow, and hopefully plenty more winners on the cards now tomorrow. Thanks very much. Best of luck.